Times are changing and more dive shops are transitioning to online curriculum only. But is this really the right direction to go? Let's talk about it. Hi guys, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Olivia and I'm a professional scuba diver. I make a new video every week about scuba tips, training, and travel, so if you're interested, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, I'd super appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into the video. So today I want to talk about the pros and cons of classroom versus online learning. Let's start with classroom. So some of the pros of being in a classroom is that you have that instructor right there and available to answer any questions for you right on the spot. Another pro of being in the classroom is that you can dive deeper into topics. With an instructor at your fingertips, you have somebody who can really expand on those topics or introduce new topics, etc., etc. Another pro of being in the class is that you have a physical book that you will get to keep and can reference back to for life. So anytime you need to refresh up on that knowledge, you can pull out your book and reread through some chapters to remind yourself of the skills that you learned when you took your course originally. Now, with that being said, there's also some cons to in-class learning. The first being schedule. When you're in class learning, you actually have to schedule time to get into the classroom to do that learning. If you're taking your scuba certification on vacation, the last thing you want to be doing is spending your time sitting inside in a classroom. Another con to being in a classroom for your learning is that you might not be in the right mindset to be ready to learn. So that class is on the schedule and you have to be there at that time, and whether or not you are mentally ready to learn doesn't really matter because that's when the class is happening. So maybe you are on vacation, like I mentioned earlier, and your brain is kind of in vacation mode and you're not really digesting that information very well, or maybe you just had a full day of work and then you're going to the dive shop after work and you're tired and a little bit exhausted. You might not be able to control whether or not you're in the right mindset to really absorb the important information that you're going to learn for your class. The last con of a classroom style learning is that you can't go at your own pace. When you have a lot of students around you that are learning at the same time, there's a certain schedule that has to be upkept, and you might not be able to go at your own pace for learning this material. So now let's talk about the e-learning. So again, there are several pros and cons to the e-learning. So let's start with some of the pros. So one of the first pros of e-learning is that you can go at your own pace. You are just sitting down at a computer on your own, and you can take as much time as you need to get through that course and really be able to absorb that information to the best of your ability. Another pro is that you can learn at a time that's convenient for you. However, going through those lessons fits into your schedules. You can do it in little increments, you can do it in big chunks, but the point is that you are in complete control of the schedule of your learning. Another thing that I like about e-learning is that there's no wasted materials. A big part of diving is being advocates for the ocean, so printing a book that might sit in a closet and never get pulled out ever again can be deemed as a waste of materials. With an electronic copy, you don't have anything that's physically printed. There's no plastic packaging that it comes shipped in, or a little plastic baggie that has all your course materials in it or anything like that. You don't have any waste. Now, there are also some cons to e-learning as well. One of those is that you don't have an instructor immediately available to answer questions. So if there's something that you don't quite understand or need some clarification on, or feeling a little bit confused, you'll have to wait until you meet with your instructor for training to get those answers to your question. Another con with the e-learning is that there is a little bit of a technical aspect with it. So you need to be a little bit familiar with using electronics and signing into an account and accessing all the tools in order to be able to smoothly and easily go through your course. Now, most dive agencies try to make this programming pretty user-friendly, but it can be a challenge for some. And the last con to e-learning is that, as far as I know, up until now, your course expires after 1 year. So 1 year after you register your course, your access to it will be expired. So you won't be able to reference back to it like you will with a physical book. So that's that. Let me know which way you prefer to learn in the comments below. And if you have more pros and cons that I didn't mention today, also leave those in the comments below. Me personally, I prefer e-learning. I am the kind of person that likes to take a class at my own pace. I like to sit down when I'm ready on my schedule so that I can really absorb that information to the best of my ability. My tip for anyone who may struggle with this is to write down notes of any questions you have as you're taking the course. That way you can bring them to the instructor when training starts and you don't forget those questions that you had during the online portion. That's my preferred method. It seems to work out great for me, but of course everybody learns differently and that's all right too. So let me know which way you prefer in the comments below, and I will see you guys next week. Until we dive again, bye. I have been MIA for quite a few weeks. I had a pretty gnarly sinus infection and was in bed for like a week straight. Yeah, it pretty much sucked. So I'm back, feeling good. Ding. Until you meet with your professor what is this, college? I don't know. I think that's good. Toodaloo.